Hello, risky folk. Thank you so much for joining. This is Rashid here. So, what we have already covered is instruction memory, okay, register file, data memory, decoder, immediate generator. Okay, so today we're going to look into ALU. Yeah, well, slowly, gradually, we are getting there. It's taking me a little bit longer because what I do is I do one SD video and then one RISC-V video, one SD video, one RISC-V video. So, back and forth takes time. And one day I prepare a video, the next day I record a video. So, it's taking me time, but that's okay. I'm enjoying the journey. And we don't have too many things left. Okay, there will be one video on this, one on this, one here, one for this structure. Then we will do one or two on control. Then we will put together, before control, we'll put together the entire data bus together. Okay, and so yeah, maybe 10, 12 more videos. But yeah, hang in there with me. We'll get through it, and then we will look into system Verilog. So this stuff is a lot interesting. I get a lot of previous architecture and microarchitecture stuff revised as well. So anyway, let's get started into ALU. Okay, ALU is arithmetic, and it has arithmetic instruction, logical instruction. So it has, I think I put, this should be A, this should be B. It's based because on the B we get offsets and all that. Okay. Um, let's see if I can fix that. Let's see. Oops. Let's do this. A little messy, but I hope that's okay. Because see, think I will double check later on. Okay, so let's leave it there. Let's not go there. But you will see why I'm saying they are a little bit different, because in one of them, when the shift instruction comes, one of them has the magnitude of the shift and one is the actual number, right? So for addition, where you're adding the two, subtracting the two, and it still matters which one is A, which one is B. Okay, but let's focus inside there. Okay, A and B will not be much. I will double check these ones, and later on when we create a complete data path, we will verify this as well. Okay, so there are two inputs, pure data. One input is coming from control side. This will tell us what kind of instruction it is. Do we need to add these two? Do we need to subtract these? Is this a logical or arithmetic? Stuff like that. Okay, and that is really based on the decoder. Control unit knows which instruction it is, and based on that, it gives instruction to the ALU. Then we have a result, which is 32-bit. So this is 32-bit, this is 32-bit. In some cases, this may not be, we don't need all 32 bits. For example, it's 5 bits, right? Magnitude by which we shift. So only 5 bits are valid for us. Okay, and then result is 32-bit, but we also have 4 flags. These flags are actually used here in the branching. And the result is also goes back here for some instruction, but at the same time, result 32-bit also goes to the data memory. Okay. All right, that's the higher level. Okay, so this Python code that I have, by the way, I use Gemini to generate this code. Okay, I don't write this myself, so all the credit goes to Gemini for that. But what I'm doing is, I can even give this picture to Gemini, so you can give this to ChatGPT or whatever was the other one, Copilot or whatever the other ones. But you really need to be very careful, because sometimes in the same thread, these AI tools can forget things. So I'm constantly checking the code and making sure it is doing all the things that it needs to, and is doing correct things. So it's not making any mistake, or wherever what is that called, hallucination. Yeah, whenever that happens, I try to catch it. So I'm doing a very thorough review of that. Okay, and this video is also a way where I can explain you this, but at the same time, it's a kind of my personal verification of the code as well. So I look before the video, when I'm preparing video, and then also during the video I look into it. Now what today I didn't look into is if it covers all the instruction, but I looked just of it. All right, we'll figure out later on. Eventually I will verify each and every instruction, and so this any issue that comes in the implementation phase, we will definitely figure that out. Okay, so structure is very simple. It's we are creating another function, right? It has input source A, source B, and it has input ALU control. Now I forgot that. The other thing, I tell the AI that, okay, I have a naming convention. All the inputs I put _I, all the outputs _O, which I forgot to tell. And the AI forgot also that in the same thread I gave it those instructions. So you need to be careful with that. The outputs we don't put here. The outputs we pull as a return. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4 flags, and there's a result. So I will improve the score. By the way, these slides I will start putting into my RISC-V architecture folder, which is shared with everybody. So I will put this one over there by creating probably a new folder, and then I will share, or maybe in the same folder, and then I will also share the link with all of you. Whoever has the link will get the will be able to view the slides. All right. Okay, let's go back. All right, pretty straightforward, right? So as you can expect, we will have a lot of if else's. So if ALU control is add, that means we are sourcing, we are doing A, source A, and plus source B, correct? So one thing you will see, the masking. I did a separate video on the masking as well. Here we will do masking to ensure when we do operation like this, even if it's a bigger number than what a 32-bit can hold, the number will still be there. Okay, so once we do masking with all these hexadecimal for all those, right, we will make sure that this is 32-bit. The number only we keep is 32-bit. We will discard the rest of the bits. Okay, so we need to ensure that we have checks throughout. This is ALU, right? That the number doesn't exceed a 32-bit quota. In hardware, when we later do it, we will only have 32 bits, so not a problem. Right? We are controlling the number of bits that a signal can contain, but here there's no limit. Okay, Python can pick pretty large number of bits to represent a variable. Okay, so you get the raw, add, and then you mask it. So you get 32 bits. Now the flags, if you remember, you should watch my flags video that I did during architecture and microarchitecture as well. Actually, I spend more time on the microarchitecture in it. So here we will have a little bit more based on not number of bits, but more of with the numbers. Like carry flag, did we exceed the maximum unsigned 32-bit limit? Okay, so that's what we need to look into there. So we can do things like if raw number, this one, okay, it's more than, because this is already we truncated, right? So if this number is more than this, then we say carry flag is 1. Similarly, overflow case in case of add is that source, so here's the thing, the source A, so did two positive numbers make a negative or vice versa, right? So you're checking the two input. If both are input are positive, output becomes negative, means something or overflow happen, or both are input are negative, your result become positive. That is incorrect, right? Means some sort of overflow has happened. So that's exactly what we're checking. We're shifting source A by 31, and we're masking with 1. This is the carry sign bit of source A, right? Similarly, sign bit of source B, all right? Similarly, sign bit of the result. Then we're checking if A equal to B, whether it's positive, both negative. But then A, one of them we can pick, doesn't match with the result. That means there's an overflow flag. That's for the case of addition, right? In the case of subtraction, it will be a borrow. Same thing for the subtraction. You can see we subtract, we mask, carry flag is, you can see that did we borrow past the absolute minimum limit. So you're really checking that your source A, right, is less than source B, right? If it's A become less than B, then carry flag is 1, right? You're doing A minus B, okay? So you will see later on in hardware, we will treat it a little bit differently, but here we are just doing kind of modeling of that hardware. That's the different piece, okay? Again, if you don't understand these flags, sometimes I have to go back and look into my own videos. The microarchitecture, make sure you look at those. You will see it. There I look more in a hardware style, but here these are more of a numbering side. What, the common sense numbers make sense. Wow, so common sense numbers. What did I say? Anyway, overflow flag did a positive minus a negative yield a negative. That's exactly what you're checking there. So I will put the slides. You can check the code and or exclusive or. These are simple, right? This AND operation, this is bitwise AND. Each bit is of A is AND with corresponding bit of B, and then we mask it just to make sure that we only contain the 2 bits. Okay, exclusive OR is this order. This is simple. Shift left logical is shifting left side. Okay, so remember this one, source B. Then I was right. Okay, I will check that. Source B I'm expecting is the amount by which we will shift source A. So this is 5 bits, 4 bits and 1 bit. So you kind of truncate it, mask it, and then you shift this by this much, and you also make sure the result is also 32 bit. Shift right, shift right logical, sorry, this L is for logical. This is arithmetic. When we say right arithmetic, the sign bit is brought in, the filled in with where we moved from. Okay, so that is what, this is the function we had previously created, remember that? So this is simple. So you are making sure it's 5 bits, you're making sure this is 32 bit, and you shift right. You don't have to worry about anything, right? Value A is already masked, shunted is masked. Okay, so then if it's shift right arithmetic, that's where you get the positive value, sorry, the sign value, and then we shift it by this much. Okay, where is that? Okay, we shift this value, which is a negative number. Okay, so when we shift it by that to the right, so in a case it's this is a negative number. By shifting it will become a negative number. So since we're not doing it exactly hardware, it is a little bit, you're probably thinking where is the sign bit, but you basically, by doing this, you take care of the sign bit, right? Because eventually you mask it, you keep 32 bits, and it's the negative number stays the negative when you shift it right. Okay, this one does ensure the sign extension. Okay, then what is it? Set less than. Yeah, this is good. So we convert this into, this is already becoming, we will see later on, but it should be becoming a negative number. Then we ensure it's a negative number here, and we simply do, if this is less than this, do this. Same thing is here. All right, shift set less than signed. Okay, so this ensures it's signed. It's not simple. The Z flag, 0 flag. If result is 0, you set it 1. This is negative N, the sign bit, right? You basically shift it because sign bit goes to the bit 1 location. You mask it with that bit 1, and this is the N flag. And then you return them. All right, straightforward. If I miss something, if I didn't explain something correctly, let me know, but I think it's pretty straightforward. Okay, All right, that's it for now, and I'll see you pretty soon. Bye.